is in the background. There you see the paddle boats. It's a great summer evening in Southern California. Oscar statue outside Staples Center. And tonight at the Belasco Theater, Alexis Rocha, 19 years old from Santa Ana. Ivan Delgado, South Central Los Angeles. And from the Ukraine, Slava Shabransky. That's next on Ring TV Live. The downtown LA skyline, and they keep on building. That's the home for Golden Boy Promotions, founded by Hall of Famer Oscar De La Hoya. That's where we are tonight for another edition of the LA Fight Club, the Belasco Theater. We are inside, and it is sold out. It is hot. The crowd is fired up. You've already seen 2 knockouts, and we have more fights coming your way. Alongside Holly Lawson and Doug Fisher, I'm Bethel Duran. Thank you for joining us for another edition of Ring TV Live. The Belasco Theater has become a home away from home for Golden Boy Promotions. We're seeing the young stars make a name for themselves and graduate to that pay-per-view level. Jojo Diaz is the name that comes to mind. He's fighting in September in Dallas, Texas. But our main event tonight, Slava Shabransky from the Ukraine, now living in Los Angeles. And this is a fighter, Doug, who puts on a show. He's undefeated.
Yeah, and he's showed people what he can do, beginning with last year where he went from being nobody to a prospect to a legitimate top 10 contender. And here he's showing us some of the underrated aspects of his game against a veteran gatekeeper named Derek Findlay. This was his last fight just a couple of months ago. We're seeing the jab, we're seeing the skill, the technique, but his bread and butter is his punching power. He can punch with both hands, and he got rid of Findlay with his body attack.
Shabransky ranked in the light heavyweight division. That's our main event. He takes on a Mexican fighter in Riojas. And Shabransky, the fighter where, Doug, in that division, you kind of say, oh, maybe we don't want to fight him. And Holly, though, our co-feature, Ivan Delgado, 9-0 from Southern California, takes on a gatekeeper, the kind of fighters you need to get better.
Right. Delgado's definitely a local favorite. He's a come-forward fighter, pretty aggressive. Really good fundamentals. It'll be interesting to see what he does with, with the gatekeeper, moving up to the next level. I'm actually very excited to see that. He definitely lives up to his nickname of Striker.
Striker, 9-0. Doug, Alejandro Rocha, 7-11-2. They know each other from the Southern California gym scene, especially Ochoa.
Yeah, Ochoa is a guy, don't be fooled by that 7-11 record. He is very dangerous. We call him a gatekeeper because sometimes you put him in there with an undefeated prospect and he beats him. He upsets the apple cart. Last time we saw him here at the Belasco Theater, however, he was knocked out in 1 round. The first time he'd ever been stopped as a professional, that was by Chimpa Gonzalez. Chimpa Gonzalez showed the world that night that he's a real prospect. That's what Ivan Delgado wants to do tonight.
And coming up first, a fighter quickly making a name for himself in Southern California. The younger brother of Ronnie Rios, Alexis Rocha from Santa Ana, undefeated. And as Roberto Diaz, the matchmaker for Golden Boy, says, I think we can give the nickname Mr. Knockout. This kid packs a punch. He sat down with our Ring TV Live cameras.
For this specific fight, this is my first 6-round fight, so I focus a lot more on the rounds, focusing more on conditioning, staying my pace because it's that's 2 more rounds. Coming back to the Belasco Theater is very exciting because I bring a lot of good fan base back there. And it's a really small, compact area, so as soon as I get up in the ring, I just hear my name, everyone chanting my name. I just work in the body mainly, working the body, slowing them down. So as soon as round 1 begins, working the body to slow them down for the later rounds.
There you see him making his way into the ring. TKO Boxing, where he's worked out of in Santa Ana, or as the locals call it down there, Santana. They bring in one word. So if you're that area, you know it's Santana. Yes, I know you're going to correct me over and over on Twitter, but it's Santa Ana on paper. Regardless, though, 19-year-old Alexis Rocha, 3-0, 2 KOs, and he's in his first 6-rounder in the super welterweight division. Beto Duran, Doug Fisher, Holly Lawson from the Belasco Theater in downtown Los Angeles. Our ring announcer, Joe Martinez, is bouncing around, just waiting for that cue, ready to go. This crowd, who's already seen 2 knockouts earlier tonight, is fired up. There you see the younger brother of Ronnie Rios.
He's a lot of fun to watch. He's an aggressive southpaw boxer puncher, kind of kid who keeps his composure, but he goes after his opponent when he has them in trouble, and that's the kind of fighter these fans love to see.
That's the kind of fighter we all love to see, really.
Most of us.
Yeah.
Some folks are pacifists out there.
Here's highlights from his fight in Las Vegas on the eve of Canelo's fight when we opened up the T-Mobile Arena, and here's Joe Martinez.
Rounds de peleas impactado por Cesar Santos en el peso super welter. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen, 6 rounds of boxing this in the super welterweight division. Los 3 pesos por ese combate, the 3 judges scoring this bout at ringside, Raul Caiz, Jerry Cantu, and Zach Young. When the bell rings, your referee in charge of the action encargado del ring, el referee Raul Caiz Jr. Presentando primero la esquina azul, con los pantaloncillos negro con rojo y blanco, y un peso de 143 libras y 3 cuartos. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black trunks trimmed in red and white, he weighed officially 143 3/4 pounds. Con un récord de 4 victorias, 2 derrotas y 1 ganada por nocaut, his professional record, 4 victories, 2 defeats, 1 win coming by way of knockout de Cancún, Quintana Roo, México, presentado Israel Villela. Y su frente en la esquina roja, con los pantaloncillos azul, con México y los Estados Unidos, y un peso de 148 libras y 1/4. His opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wears blue, trimmed to the flag of Mexico and the USA. He weighed officially 148 1/4 pounds y tiene un récord perfecto con 3 victorias, 0 derrotas y 2 ganadas por nocaut. He stands perfect with 3 victories, no defeats and 2 wins coming by way of knockout de Santana, California, presentando el invicto Alexis Rocha.
Fighter chief, second only. Mouthpiece. Protector. All right, gentlemen, you received the instructions in the dressing room. Know what I expect? A good, clean fight. Caballeros, ya recibieron las instrucciones, quiero una pelea limpia. Legal punches, here for you, here for you. Tough gloves, luck to both of you. Buenas tardes los dos.
Third man in the ring, Raul Caiz Jr. in his 19th year as a referee. Doug, here's the tail of the tape.
Yeah, everything favors the teenager, Rocha. He is 17 years younger at age 19. He is 4 inches taller, and he has a significant reach advantage.
6 rounds coming your way in the super welterweight division. Rocha weighed in at 148. Villela taking this fight on short notice, 143. Alexis Rocha, 19 years old. He's the southpaw. He's got the blue trunks. Mexico on the back of his trunks. That's where his parents are from. Body shot right away. He comes with that power, Holly. I know you said ooh right away. Boom.
Yeah,
Get ready to say some more oohs.
That left to the body was pretty nice. He's doing a really good job of keeping his range, though, establishing his range.
All of his punches carry lots of power.
Obviously, look at that.
He's
That
one of
right
these-
to the body is pretty brutal.
He's one of these guys,
So
though,
that
he can,
uppercut.
yeah,
Yes.
he can load up with every punch, but not burn himself out. He stays relaxed and composed, even though he's delivering with maximum leverage.
He has a pretty wide stance. I don't know if you noticed that. Which
Yeah.
kind of
Oh, and down
look at
goes Villela. A big left. Holly, you said ooh. How about ow? Dropping Villela here in the first round. Alexis, they call him at TKO Boxing with the big shot here. Oh, and Biella has no
very-
legs underneath him. The 36-year-old is in dangerous territory right now as Alexis Rocha is looking to finish it here in the first round, loading up on his shots. His trainer said they're going to come out and try to finish it early, and that's what they're trying to do right now. Body work from Rocha. Upstairs, tags him with the right, a left, in the corner, and it is over. Alexis Rocha, a first-round stoppage. He is now 4-0 with 3 KOs.
I think that was a good stoppage from Raul Caiz Jr.
Absolutely.
It was obvious from the very start that Vieira was just totally outgunned.
Completely.
Also, he was dwarfed by Rocha.
So
Rocha
much,
just so
huge,
much bigger,
towering over him.
so
Good
much
4
stronger,
inches.
and he was the superior technician in there.
Yeah, 100%.
118 of the first round, 19-year-old Alexis Rocha. He sold a lot of tickets. That's what you do at the Belasco. If you're a young fighter, you sell tickets, you get a cut, make some extra money.
And then you
Well, hopefully his fans got in here on time.
Yeah, I was going to say, you provide a performance like that, they're going to keep coming back.
Santana, stand up. Segerstrom High School Jaguar. That's where he went to school. And this is a kid, Holly, who at one point when he was 14 years old, weighed over 200 pounds.
Wow.
He started boxing to lose weight. Now he's a pro and he's 3-0.
See this knockdown, it was just a perfectly timed straight left, right down
Right
the
on the
middle,
chin.
right on the button.
Look at that.
Yeah, and it was pretty
Perfect.
short too.
Really?
It wasn't from long range. And here's the follow-up. He's got him against the ropes, getting under punches, partially blocking punches. And
Really nice inside
yeah,
punch
did you
there.
see that short
yeah,
right hook?
Really short right hook.
Caiz didn't wait too much longer. Didn't need to see the poor old man hit the deck again. That
No.
would have been, that just would have been too much. Needless. That's
No.
needless punishment at that
Absolutely.
stage.
Good performance from Rocha, though. He did what he was supposed to do.
He's supposed to give us time to breathe here. I mean, mixing a jab or two, bro. But no, that's exactly what you want. This is what you're supposed to do, right, Doug? When you come out and you're young, take on a veteran, why mess around? Get after it. I know your trainer wants you to get rounds, but you want to finish this.
Right.
Rounds are definitely important, but when you're just a teenager and it's only your 4th pro fight, and they're not putting you in with the gatekeepers just yet. He's the opening bout of
Right.
this televised broadcast. He's not the co-feature yet. He's
No.
far away from the main event. This is about just getting used to being a professional and get
Yeah.
in, get out, come back next month.
Absolutely. Be comfortable on the lights, in front of the people. Get out there, do exactly what you're supposed to do. I thought he actually showed a lot of patience. Like, he definitely kept his range the whole time. He wasn't jumping on top of the opponent. He did a really good job with that. His inside game was really nice. Actually, I'm quite impressed with the punches he was throwing on the inside.
You make a good point. He doesn't smother his punches. He knows when
He
to
was
let him go.
aggressive.
Well, how are you going to
but
smother
he
when you only
wasn't
throw one
jump-
big one that knocks him down? You can't smother the second one, it didn't come through. There you see Alexis Rocha shaking hands with his promoter, Oscar De La Hoya, who's here in attendance tonight, the founder and chairman of Golden Boy Promotions. Holly, how about our main event making his way to the Belasco out of the Ukraine?
Looking forward to
Slava
this one.
Shabransky.
Slav and I have actually fought on the same card before.
Oh,
we
have
fought,
you?
I think his first fight in LA, I believe. We fought on the same card. I was the main event. His wife was pregnant with their first child, so I think that they had a daughter, right?
Yeah, they
so
have a
his wife
daughter.
his wife was heavily pregnant with their first daughter, and I just remember her being in the back and she was pregnant. And I was so nervous for her because she was so anxious for him. You know, obviously she gets anxious with all of his fights, but she was pretty.
That's coming in later on. Here's Joe Martinez.
Segundos de primer asalto de referee para la pelea para el ganador por knockout. The end comes officially 118, round number 1. Your winner by KO victory. Se mantiene invicto de Puro Santana, California, Alexis Rocha.
There it is, Alexis Rocha. Lex, as they call him at TKO Boxing. His dad's from Mexico City, his mom from Zacatecas. And he's 4-0 with 3 stoppages for the 19-year-old. But yeah, he was 200 pounds, Holly, over 200 pounds. His brother Ronnie, who's an established fighter himself, was like, no, don't fight. But if you want to come run with us,
Right.
lose some weight. And he was also 5'3", 5'4".
Wow.
Yeah, and we'll come back with a chiseled Alexis Rocha, who's now 147, next on Ring TV Live.
16 years has been amazing. We've raised millions and millions of dollars for the foundation. It all goes back to the White Memorial Hospital. It goes back to the Oscar de la Hoya High School. We do giveaways to families in East LA. We scholarships. It's just been great.
This is, these charities are for a bunch of great causes like, cancer research and also schools in East LA, which I'm from Chicago. I grew up in the not so great part of Chicago, or not, low income or whatever. And hopefully one day I can do the same.
Y Oscar de la Hoya pues tiene esa gran luz de poder ayudar a nuestra gente y tenemos que unirnos para poder unir fuerzas y ayudar a mucho más gente cada día más.
Well, obviously Oscar's a friend, and his foundation is doing a lot of good stuff. So whatever we can do to show up and stir it up a little bit, we did.
Yo creo que es algo positivo, algo bonito que está haciendo, ¿no? Para ayudar y aquí estamos, ¿no? Ayudando en lo que podamos.
Oh, and we love our social media here. I'm snapping, tweeting, Instagram, and boo here. Maybe not the new Instagram snap, but I'm using it all. Use that hashtag RingTVLive, just like Mr. Boxing Guru has done. And he said, how pretty are those gloves Baby Ronnie was wearing? Mr. Guru, he is not Baby Ronnie. That is Alexis Rocha, and he's coming your way. This kid has a big punch. And use RingTVLive hashtag. Ask us questions, send us your comments, let us know where you're watching from, and we will make sure to get you that shout out tonight. And we do appreciate it. Everybody watching us all over the country, hasta los que nos están mirando en Zacatecas, Mexico, donde está la familia de Alexis Rocha. Also to Guadalajara, Mexico is watching us, Holly, and I know tonight we are in Canada.
Yes,
You
hometown. Holla.
We're in British Columbia?
I'm from BC.
All right, so
Proudly.
Toronto, you guys are my favorites.
What?
F-A-V-O-U-R-I-T-E.
Beto thinks he's
Because
funny.
I haven't been to Vancouver.
You need to go to Vancouver.
Let's go to Whistler.
Let's go.
Take
Vancouver
me.
is amazing.
I want to
It's
go.
so beautiful.
I hear-
It's
yeah,
I want to
amazing.
go from Mardi
It's
Gras to
beautiful.
Whistler. That's what I want to do.
Listen, this is the life.
Beto
I want
Duran,
to hang with Beto.
Doug Fisher,
Whatever he does, I
and
want to do what he
Holly
does.
Locke.
Living the dream.
Living the dream.
Apparently.
Exactly. And Holly, the first time you're with us tonight, though, what is the vibe inside here? Let people know.
It's really energetic. There's a ton of people here. It's really crowded. It's really dope to see people come out for local fighters. Like, I know as a fighter, when you have your friends and your family there, there's a different energy. It's a different energy than just a bunch of strangers, because people are emotionally attached to you. You can kind of feel that vibe in the space. It's pretty cool, actually.
And here it's a club. So if you ever been to the Mayan back in the 80s and 90s, you know what you were doing. At the Mayan next door to the Belasco, and they put the ring on the dance floor. And thanks to everybody watching us all over Southern California in Huntington Beach, the Altamirano family, appreciate you guys. And Ronnie Rios' younger brother, Alexis Rocha, is going to be making his way towards us in a few moments. He went to Segerstrom High School. He was actually taught by Mrs. A, Altamirano. So he's coming your way. Let's see if those English classes paid off when we do the interview with him, because you're a great journalism teacher. Also, a José Vitela, que nos está mirando desde Los Ángeles de Montebello, y también la familia que tiene en Durango. Aquí están mirando las peleas. We have 2 more to go, and that's going to be Alejandro Ochoa as he takes on Ivan Delgado in the main event. Slava Shabransky, who trains at the Rock Gym in Carson, against Oscar Riojas, is in Monterrey, Mexico. And I don't blame him. He just knocked somebody out. Take as many pictures as you want.
Yeah, and I was going to ask
Absolutely.
Holly, what is it like when you score a knockout in that kind of fashion?
Best
are you just
feeling
overcome
in
with
the world.
emotion?
Nothing better than that. I can't say any more than that because it would get maybe a little lewd, but it's the best feeling in the world.
We've had fighters do that.
Holly, we love you, but Lex Rocha has a big punch, and I'm not trying to scare him right now. Get over here, Lex. Oh, you're going to say hi to people back there, but not us first?
You got to make friends on press row. That's smart. You're a smart kid.
I see what you're doing.
Yeah.
Damian Calhoun right there.
That's networking.
That's the man right there.
OC register.
OC register.
OC
Take
register.
care of the home paper first.
He's the OG and OC.
Yeah.
Damien and actually went to El Camino College together. Alexis Rocha, first round knockout. Was that the plan to come out that aggressive?
The plan's always come out aggressive. You know, I don't want to give these guys any respect in there. I don't want them giving their idea of like, oh, he's 19, he's not that strong or anything. I don't want them to gain that respect. So I always gotta come out aggressive.
You don't want to give them confidence.
I don't want to give them any confidence.
When you look at a guy, he's older, he's smaller. You guys had the same number of pro fights under your belt. And
yes.
Obviously, you had the better technique in there. Do you just want to get them out of there? I mean, is it like why carry them?
No, it's not necessarily because I don't want to go in there and looking for a knockout. That's where you lead to a downfall.
Right.
So I want to go in there smart, break them down, you know, land those heavy shots, and if those shots hurt them, then why not put them out?
You landed those heavy shots. Here's the highlights from the first round. I believe we had the first KO coming your way. You look good right there when you're posing that green screen, by the way. There you see Lex Rocha. What do you see right now?
Just coming out, working the body like I always do. Yeah, this guy, like I felt him. Like I thought he was gonna come right at me, expecting that I'm a 19-year-old kid. I expect him to come bull rushing me, so that's what I expected. Me and my corner expected that. But he was really relaxed in there, so I just wanted to put the pressure.
I'm loving how you're operating. You're controlling the distance.
Yeah.
You don't smother any of your punches.
Try
you don't
not
let
to.
your punches go before your opponent's in range. This wasn't a lot of time to work on anything in specific, but was there anything from your third pro fight that you wanted to improve going into the fourth fight?
Yeah, my third pro fight, I went in there trying to knock this guy out because I know I'm strong, I know I have heavy hands, but what good does that do if you only throw one punch, at a time? So this fight, I wanted to come out and throw my combination, start off with the jab, being relaxed. I think I was too tense for my third fight, and I didn't get the knockout like I did. I hurt the guy. I didn't drop him, but I hurt him. But this fight, I wanted to be more relaxed and more calm to get that knockout.
I told you yesterday, Golden Boy matchmaker Roberto Diaz was kicking around the nickname Mr. Knockout.
Mr. Knockout.
Dude, come on now.
That's a pretty impressive title, but I don't think I've earned it just yet with 4 fights and 3 KOs. I think I got to work my way up there.
There's that camera. Say what's up to Santana or Santa Ana. Which one is it?
Both. Santana, Santa Ana.
And Segerstrom High School. Did your teacher teach you something down there?
All my teachers, Mr. Tagaloa.
Altamirano, don't forget her.
Mr. Altamirano.
There you go, Alexis Rocha. Lex out of TKO Boxing, 4-0. Now has 3 KOs on his record. Congratulations to the 19-year-old. You're going to see him a couple more times this year here on Ring TV Live. Coming up next, Ivan Delgado. But before that, he sat down with our Ring TV Live cameras.
It's going to be my first 8-rounder, so we had to step it up a little more on the conditioning. In the training camp, it's basically sit down more on the punches, that way when we land, we'll be able to hurt them. My daily routine is, waking up early morning, going to run, and after that, heading home, getting a protein shake, whatever, and after that, head straight to the gym, from like 9 to 12, sparring, whatever it is, mids. And then afternoon, sometimes I do strength and conditioning every other day. Since I was 5 years old, I grew up in the old famous LA Boxing Club. Once I started hitting high school, I started just hanging with the wrong crowd, I got into a gang. I started going to juvenile hall, county. I ended up in prison 4 years, and then I was out for 7 years. I took a fight with Golden Boy 48-hour notice, and I beat the guy, Kirk Bills. Ever since then, Golden Boy kept an eye on me, especially Robert Diaz, special thanks to I know he's a strong fighter, I know he comes out there to win, I know he throws a lot of punches, I know he's only been knocked out once, and I know he's beat a couple undefeated fighters, even from Golden Boy, so I'm gonna do what I gotta do to win, and I know I come out with the win. I'm excited, it's my first co-main event fight. I'm willing to come out with the win no matter what.
That's our co-feature tonight. Ivan Delgado, Alejandro Ochoa, Beto Duran, Doug Fisher, Holly Lawson from the sold-out Belasco Theater. So far, there's been 3 fights tonight, 3 knockouts. I don't know if there's going to be a knockout on this one, but it's definitely going to be a battle, Doug.
I think this fight is going to give us rounds. Delgado's nickname is the striker because he does strike. He's got heavy hands, but he doesn't have that one-punch knockout power. And I think Ochoa, being the proud fighter that he is, he wants to show people that the guy who got knocked out in 1 round by Chipa Gonzalez, that wasn't the real Alejandro Ochoa.
He scored a couple of upsets as well, though, correct?
Oh, Ochoa, absolutely, yeah. Ochoa, last year, he fought a young man from the East Coast named gosh, what was his name? Kevin Rivers Jr., who was undefeated as a pro and was an amateur standout. Very talented, actually viewed as a more talented prospect than Chimpa Gonzalez. And Ochoa dropped him twice and outpointed him, and that was a huge upset.
So we're looking at a competitive fight here.
Especially if it gets warmed up. And not just a competitive fight, it can be a very entertaining fight, perhaps the fight of the night.
I do like Delgado. I've actually seen a couple of his fights. He's not flashy, not anything crazy one way or the other, but he's solid and he comes forward and he's got big heart. And I mean, I've watched a couple fights. He takes his time when he needs to.
He does.
He's patient. You got to respect that. He has like pretty good fundamentals and he kind of knows what he's about and he does that really well.
It's kind of a unique style. It's versatile. I sort of liken it just to a natural fighting style. He's not like your average prospect who just has 10 pro bouts where they still kind of box like an amateur. He's definitely more settled in there. He takes his time. He doesn't waste punches.
No. And he knows what he's good at. And he throws with bad intention, but he's not wild with them.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
A lot of the Golden Boy boxers make their way to the Belasco Theater. Christian Chimpa Gonzalez, 20-year-old. He'll be fighting November 2nd at the Belasco. Get your tickets. He's a co-feature. Oscar De La Hoya, he might make it that night. Hopefully he can get a ticket to be here. He, of course, has a great time here at the Belasco. Christian Chimpa, who's actually been running Mount Baldy, and decided to go earlier this week than normal because of the heat, and he ran into a bear. So
get out of here.
No, because it's been hot this week, so he went earlier, like around 5 o'clock, saw a bear, and he's like, oh no, that's a Snapchat. And here he is, snapping back the head of Ochoa in the second round stoppage. Boom.
And I can't state it enough that this was not expected. This was a fight, actually, when Gonzalez's management took the fight, matchmakers from other promotional companies called him up and said, what are you doing? This guy's a spoiler. Your guy's not ready for Ochoa yet. You're making a huge mistake.
You know what that says, though? That says your team believes in you, and they know what you're capable of.
Absolutely.
You got to really like that.
Yeah. Keep sending those tweets using the hashtag RingTVLive. For those of you that, I just got a tweet right now. Yes, we would love to be at your house for carne asada. No, we can't go there because we are working, and I know by the time we get there, it's going to be gone, like a typical Friday night. Forget boxing and chill. How about carne asada and some boxeo? And there you see Alex Ochoa coming into the ring, ready to go, from now listed as Santa Ana. And Ochoa, Doug, as you've taught me about him, he's that gatekeeper, but he's just known in the Southern California boxing scene as the dude who can get you rounds and a spar, and he does a great job doing it.
He's a guy you have to be ready for. Ochoa, once again, you can't judge him by his record. You want to look at the number of rounds he's gone. He's gone 85 total pro rounds, almost twice as many rounds as Ivan Delgado has gone. And I think that can be a factor in this fight, particularly
100%.
once the fight heats up.
Yeah, I mean, if you haven't gone that many rounds into any of your fights, or you haven't fought that many longer fights, and somebody comes in with that many rounds under their belts, at a certain point the experience kicks in, and those later rounds is when it kind of shows up.
Now, Delgado has gone the distance a number of times, but his overall quality of opposition not as tough as the gatekeeper, the guy who's often brought in as an opponent.
Is that Thunderstruck he's walking into? It is, right?
I don't know, but I like his shoes. Okay, he's got some flashy shoes on, too.
A little AC/DC Thunderstruck for Ochoa. Could that be some foreshadowing from him? And there he is, repping South Central on his jacket. Boxing Lifestyles taking care of him with the gear. Mexican-American fighter, father of two. Actually, he has three. That's right. He just had a baby recently. He has Alina, Destiny, and Aiden.
He knows what he's fighting for.
Yep. Aiden is actually, he tattooed it on his right fist.
Yeah.
Because Aiden, as he said, is the one helping him throw those punches when he's in the ring. He says a special moment, special tattoo for him, the baby Aiden.
somebody who's very serious, because he's somebody who screwed up, somebody who, when he could have been making his name as a local amateur, he was running with the wrong crowd.
Right.
And at a time where he could have been finishing up his amateur career and making his name as a young pro, he was incarcerated. So he's had to make up for lost time, and he's very thankful for the opportunity that he has to be fighting as part of the series.
Próxima pelea está pactada por 8 asaltos en el peso ligero. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen, 8 rounds of boxing this in the lightweight division. Otra vez los tres jueces, once again your 3 judges, Raúl Caín, Jerry Cantu, and Zach Young. Y encargado del ring, your referee in charge of the action, Hall of Famer Dr. Lou Moran. Presentando primero la esquina azul, con los pantaloncillos azul y verde limón y un peso de 130 libras y 3/4. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing blue trunks with lime green. He weighed officially 130 3/4 pounds. Un veterano de 20 peleas de Santana, California, presentando Alejandro Ochoa. Y su frente en la esquina roja, con los pantaloncillos multicolores y un peso de 132 libras. His opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wears multicolored trunks tonight. He weighed officially 132 pounds. Con un récord perfecto de 9 victorias, 0 derrotas, 1 empate y 2 ganadas por nocaut. He stands perfect in the ring tonight, 9 victories, no defeats. 1 draw with 2 wins coming by way of knockout, presentando de Ciudad de Los Ángeles, California, el invicto, Iván Striker Delgado.
Thank you, bro. Gentlemen, I give you instruction dressing room. Just have a good, clean fight. Return your opponent away to battle. Good luck.
Dr. Lou Moret, the third man in the ring. Let's look at the tail of the tape, Dougie.
And they match up almost equally. Delgado is 1 year younger. Their height and their reach is equal.
26-year-old Delgado, Alejandro Ochoa. Alex, 27 years old. He comes from a fighting family. And we are underway in our co-feature at the Belasco Theater. Bethel Duran, Doug Fisher, Holly Lawson. It's scheduled for 8 rounds in the lightweight division. 9-0 is Ivan Delgado. He's in the black and gray trunks. In the blue with lime is Alex Ochoa. Most recent fight for Delgado, he's went the distance with Jesus Sandoval in March here at the Belasco. Where Ochoa, mentioned earlier, was stopped in the second by Chipa Gonzalez. An impressive win for Gonzalez. Delgado, good amateur background, over 70 amateur fights. Then as a teenager, ran into with the wrong crowd, got himself incarcerated, and he felt that when he came out, it was a second chance. The names of Jojo Diaz, Julian Ramirez, Joel Gonzalez, fighters that he had gone up against in the amateurs, he sees them going to the next level. He said he knows he has to play catch up with them. He can't afford to make mistakes. He stays away from that former life. Now as a family man, 3 kids, goes run, takes the kids to school, goes back to work out. Now living in Montebello.
He's keeping his composure well under Ochoa's early aggression. And that's what you want to do. That's something that Rivers Jr. did not do. He was a little bit surprised by the early aggression from Ochoa and tried to return fire in kind, and that's when he got when he got clipped, got caught with the left hook near the end of the first round.
A little bit of a knot underneath the right eye of Delgado here in the first round. Overhand right from Delgado. He's got the black. And Ochoa, he's 27 years old, 7-11-2, only 1 KO on his ledger. But he's that fighter that's just gonna mix it up with you when he gets caught with the left. Did he go down?
He was hurt though. No, he did not go down. Oh,
yes, he is.
Perhaps one of his gloves touched canvas.
The glove touched the canvas, according to Dr. Lou Moret. It was close. It happened really fast.
I didn't see it. I definitely saw his right leg buckle though.
But he did get caught with the left hook from Delgado.
And so right now he's dealing with demons from his previous fight. He's kind of worried about his own chin and his own punch resistance, since the last time he got hurt, he was not able to recover.
Another left from Delgado. Orocho, this is what he does, Holly. He comes out and he scraps with you. If you fall into his trap, you can be in for a long night. Gonna be up to Delgado to maintain his composure.
He's doing a really good job of that so far. Maintaining his distance, definitely staying calm. You get sucked into somebody else's kind of their fight and their energy, that's gonna drain you.
Well, especially when you come in as the opponent, right?
Yeah, 100%. You want to fight your fight. You want to establish.
Uppercut from Delgado. 10 seconds to go in the opening round. Rocha's glove did touch the mat, so it will be ruled as a 10-8 round for Ivan Delgado. We're scheduled for 8. A little bit more behind each fighter, or Crack Staff has put together a sweet graphic with bios on both of the fighters.
Born in Miko Okan, he's won 4 of his last 6 bouts, and we should point out that those 4 bouts were against unbeaten fighters.
Pretty impressive.
Michoacan, Mexico, in the southern part of the state.
He's definitely a game fighter. He's there to fight. He's not here to be run over. He's not here to provide a little bit of opposition.
That's why
he's
he's
here
a
to fight.
gatekeeper and not a journeyman.
Right.
And
how do you figure out the difference, Doug? Well, it's a fine line, isn't it?
Yeah, a journeyman can go in there and put up a fight, but they usually lose. They almost always lose. The gatekeeper is going to spring the upset.
Gotcha.
Often enough to earn that title.
It's something in the demeanor. So the gatekeeper is there to fight, and they might win.
Right.
And the journeyman is there to provide rounds, and they kind of
Exactly.
act like it. There's something in their disposition,
It's
in
like
their
being
posture.
a live dog,
Right.
kinda?
Well, the journeyman has that mentality that I'm not here to win.
Right.
I'm
here
here
to
give you
put
some
up a fight.
resistance. Right.
Yeah.
Gatekeeper comes in saying, you know what? I think I can
I
win
might
this,
win.
and I'm going to try.
The gatekeeper, in his mind, is I'm not a gatekeeper.
There you go. I can be something better than that. I can be a contender.
I'm better than my record. How many times have we heard that in fighter meetings?
Always.
Like, no, I've never lost.
I got a good reason for every loss.
Like, we can't find footage of that fight. Oh, no, I won. The judges, it was his backyard, you know.
Right.
Second round, Bethany Duran, Doug Fisher, and Holly Lawson enjoying the Belasco Theater, LA Fight Club, sold out again. Body work from Ochoa. This is his style, Holly.
Just kind
Pressure.
of wild. Lots of flurries of fast punches. Doesn't seem to be a lot behind them, though.
Both guys have a pretty good foundation, but yeah, Ochoa does have sort of an awkwardness to his delivery.
Crossing his feet when he, steps laterally sometimes. But he comes forward quickly, and that can be disorienting. You can't get back quick enough. All of a sudden, he's on top of you.
And that's where he makes up for his lack of power. That's why he was able to score knockdowns against unbeaten prospects, is that he catches them by surprise.
It just takes that one punch and catch somebody just going back with their hands down.
Ochoa is going to the body, but he keeps getting nailed by that left hook from Delgado.
Yeah, he's eating a couple and he's landing one. But he's eating 2 or 3 at a time.
He's got to bring that right hand up, come up with a way to evade that left, because Delgado's looking for it now.
And he's swinging with bad intentions. That left hook is coming pretty fast.
Who is, Delgado?
Yes, absolutely.
That's something that Roberto Diaz, the matchmaker for Golden Boy, said, that Delgado has an ability to let his hands go, but he hasn't done it the last 4 fights that we've seen him, Doug. That's something that they talked about. They wanted him to do that in this fight, let the hands go, because he was just being tentative at times.
He is hesitating a little bit here.
He was stuck in
just did
cruise
that.
control in his last fight, and that was the one point of criticism that I had, is that it seemed like if he wanted to, he could have stepped up a gear and taken over the fight and maybe earned a stoppage, but he sort of cruised to a points win.
He just pulled a punch. He stepped backwards, and he could have stepped forward with a punch, and he pulled it. Maybe the same thing.
The first 8-round fight for Ivan Delgado. The other ones have been 6. 4 straight wins of decision for them, 6 rounds. Last time he got a stoppage was in May of last year when he stopped Benjamin Vincent in the 3rd. You see, Ochoa's not going anywhere.
No.
This is a competitive round.
This is Ochoa's style. Make it ugly, make it rugged, and try to steal some rounds. And he's trained by Clemente Medina, Dougie.
Yeah, and Medina is somebody who's trained many former world champions, including Daniel Ponce de Leon and Abner Mares and Alfredo Angulo.
A representative came to my school talking about the different programs, and information security was one. Family, friends, but the best part about graduation day was when I got to announce to my family that I had gotten the job. For some, school is a backup plan, but for me, it was the only plan. And I ended up choosing ITT Tech over other four-year institutions.
Scholarships and financial aid are available for students who qualify. Call 800-227-2162. That's 800-227-2162.
Ring TV Live is brought to you by ITT Technical Institute. ITT Tech for the future. Call today, 800-227-2162. Find out more info. Schedule that free tour, 800-227-2162. Third round of action underway. And Alex Ochoa and the blue and neon is an interesting character, Doug. You've taught me this over the years in boxing. Everybody has a story and their characters. Well, this dude, if you go on his Instagram, he doesn't have his name on there. He calls himself Xihue, using the Mayan name. He's from Puro Pencha descent. That's the area of Michoacan where he's from. So he's really into his Aztec and Mayan roots. Says he's conscious, revolutionary, teacher, activist, knowledge and wisdom. And then at the bottom, pro boxer.
That's last, huh? Yeah, he's got that look.
Yeah.
Like his hair and everything.
He's definitely a warrior.
Yeah, you look at his face, he does. He has the look of an ancient warrior or like an activist.
Well, Doug, you say in Spanish, guerrero.
He's showing it right now
I mean,
in this
he's
third
really
round.
letting his hands go.
Yeah, that body attack is nuts.
Oh, there you see the
good
hand go
counter
back.
with Delgado.
Holly, you were saying that left hook from Delgado, he's throwing it viciously, and he landed that one there, snapping back the head of the activist Ochoa.
I have to wonder why Delgado's not going to Ochoa's body a little bit more, kind of slow him down a little bit.
Especially considering he was stopped in his last fight.
Right. And with somebody who, moves that much and they're an active puncher, you want to slow him down a little bit, get him back to your pace so you can fight your fight.
One of the advantages of having an extensive amateur career is it just conditions fighters to let their hands go all the time. And Delgado doesn't have it. He's got more of a style that you see in sparring sessions.
Right.
Like really good sparring sessions where you're taking your time a little bit more, and it's not so much about activity. But although he defends well, he blocks well, he has a nice high guard there, he can be outworked.
Yeah.
And I would say he's being outworked right now by Ochoa.
And the thing is, if you're going to take your time, you have to make sure the punches you're throwing are really doing some damage. So when you throw those punches, they have to do something.
Ochoa has a chin. He can take those punches. He's been in some battles over the years. Ali, make a great point. Why is he not going to that body? You've seen it. He can wear that punch to the chin. Delgado sparred in the past with Leo Santa Cruz. Works out at the same gym as Leo. With Leo's father out there. So he gets good work. Good movement by Delgado.
He really does kind of hesitate a little bit, though. He'll get back to the center of the ring, and then he won't throw when he has the opportunity to throw.
Yeah, right now, with this round, the story of round 3 for me is Delgado is content to block punches.
Yep.
He's not throwing enough, and I think Ochoa is winning this round because he's outworked him. And I like the body. The body punches are landing for Ochoa.
Well, yes. Deja vu against Kevin Rivers. I swear I heard that last year. Ooh. Final seconds of the third. It's scheduled for 8. Good action in the third round, Holly.
Definitely Ochoa throwing a lot of punches, landing some body shots there to Delgado.
There was a right followed by a left, and both of them were scoring punches from Ochoa, but he leaves himself open for those left hook counters.
Absolutely.
Fourth round, it's scheduled for 8. Shihue, as he calls himself in the blue. Maybe see a Mecha meeting breaking out. He's taking on Ivan Delgado. A good battle here at the Velasco Theater. And Dougie, after 3, how do you have it?
I have it 2 rounds to 1, or 29-27 for Delgado because of the knockdown scored in round 1. First 2 rounds went to Delgado. Third round went to Ochoa. I thought he outworked Delgado.
Holly?
I have it the same, actually. I think Ochoa took the third round. He was just far more active and a little more accurate.
Was eavesdropping in the corner of Ochoa with Clemente in the corner. They're telling him, breathe. You need to breathe in that corner.
That's great advice.
Very important.
Sometimes just keep it simple. Keep it to the basics. If your fighter doesn't look like he's getting enough oxygen, remind him. Just settle him down.
Holly, in the second, you said he should go to the body, that being Delgado. Hasn't done it. Is landing some big shots upstairs, but Ochoa keeps coming.
Yeah, he keeps coming. The thing is, Delgado's slipping some of Ochoa's punches, so he's already in a position to throw to the body, and he's just not letting go.
Oh,
nice
action.
uppercut.
And that one tagged him, that one hurt. And Ochoa's still on his feet.
Wow.
Las Greñas are getting loose.
But Ochoa's legs were stiffened in those punches, and that looked like it was a right hand from Delgado that first did the damage.
Yes.
Striker Delgado, a big crowd on his side, wearing his shirt. Very patient here.
Oh, really nice right hand.
Good timing, good accuracy from Delgado, but Holly, one thing I think is missing from Delgado's game right now, and that's a jab.
100%.
Where is it?
It's non-existent. He's waiting for the other person to come with the jab and then trying to counter, but his counters are, sometimes a little bit slow or not there at all. When he's throwing, he's doing great, though, so he really does just need to throw more punches. There was a jab there, landed, so there you go.
Maybe he hurt
You're
us.
right.
Why does he need to throw that jab right now, Doug?
I think that's his style. He's never had a busy jab. I've never seen him really work that
No,
jab.
but why do you want him to throw it?
Because it ups his activity. It keeps him from being outworked from Ochoa. It gives Ochoa something to think about, so he just doesn't come in and out with impunity. And I also think the jab is an underrated punch in terms of doing damage. It makes your opponent dizzy. If you can land a jab consistently, a stiff jab, round after round, the jab alone will make your opponent woozy and soften them up for the power punches. And of course, it helps set up the power punches.
10 seconds to go in the 4th round. Good action between Ivan Delgado and Alex Ochoa on Ring TV Live from Los Angeles.
Ochoa missing with an overhand right, getting clipped with a right uppercut, and caught with some follow-up hooks. But he struggled to stay on his feet, and he did.
Definitely a warrior there. Definitely living up to his multi-hyphenate Instagram bio.
And there was a nice right cross landed by Delgado in that second highlight.
Back at the Velasco Theater, Beto Duran, Doug Fisher, and Holly Lawson. Keep the tweets coming using the hashtag #RingTVLive. 5th round, it's scheduled for 8. Delgado in the black and silver against Alex Ochoa in the blue and neon.
That was the best round from Delgado. We saw round 4. He let his hands go a little bit more.
Another good left hook. Roberto Diaz said one of the things that he doesn't like about Ivan Delgado, and it was just constructive criticism, he said that he makes things hard for himself. He works harder than he should in a fight.
I would agree with that statement.
What makes you see that?
He has the tools, but he's not doing the small things like the jab. Dougie, you were saying if you throw the jab, you're going to keep somebody off you. You're definitely going to think about it more, and it's going to set up those other power punches. So he's just waiting for one big punch. He's a little more active. It would kind of feed into other things for him, I think.
I'm enjoying this fight. It's awkward at points, and all three of us are in agreement that Delgado needs to have a higher punch output, but I see a lot of craft from both fighters.
Yeah, 100%.
Ochoa's work rate has slowed down.
Might not be breathing enough.
Ochoa's brother, actually Francisco Ochoa, we've seen him a couple times on Ring TV Live. Younger brother.
I like that he's going to the body, but he's squared up right in front of Delgado.
Starting to look a little bit tired, isn't he?
Yeah, Delgado didn't make him pay for that, though.
Then you see the scorecards. Doug has it.
Yeah, I have a 39-36, so I have 3 rounds to 1 for Delgado. Delgado gets an extra point for the knockdown score, the technical knockdown scored in the opening round.
And Holly's card.
I have it scored the same, 39-36.
Great minds think
alike.
alike.
For Delgado, clearly.
But Ochoa is still in this fight.
27-year-old Ochoa, Santa Ana, California. Coming in this fight, had 85 pro rounds experience on his side.
Definitely slowing down, though. Breathing pretty heavy.
He's a bit of a boxing nomad in Southern California. Doesn't have a main gym.
Good
he
left
works
hook
out of.
again.
He was momentarily rocked by that left hook.
He's been momentarily rocked by a lot of left hooks.
Yeah, it's happened 3 or 4 times so far in this fight.
But he recovers really well, though.
Well, you know what? Delgado is allowing him the time and the
Absolutely,
luxury of recovery.
absolutely.
Good point. Doesn't jump on it after he stuns him. Final seconds of the 5th round. Entertaining fight between Delgado and Ochoa, the co-feature. And the main event is Shabransky.
Amigo, ya lo tienes, güey, ¿eh? Sí. Ya nada más hay que meterle el último pinche estocazo, güey. El último golpe final. El upper, mete gancho y vuelve a meter el upper. Ahí se va a quedar, güey. Bien. Órale, pues. Ya no me la des quebrada. Órale. Échale ahí, échale ahí. Más agüita.
Ochoa going to work with Delgado's back against the ropes, working both sides of Delgado. We noted that Ochoa was looking kind of tired, but he's still giving that effort. And I may have even scored that round for Ochoa, but he got caught with that left hook that momentarily wobbled him, and that's why I scored it for Delgado.
Our next broadcast will be November. I'm getting ahead of myself.
He's trying to go to Mardi Gras in Canada.
You know, Mardi Gras and Whistler, baby. September 2nd, we'll be here at the Belasco Theater. Tony Martinez from TJ is the main event. Also, Christian Chipo Gonzalez, the co-feature. So that means we can send some birthday shout-outs to Sal Carrillo. Turns 21 again and again at a Paramount or Long Beach or Downey, wherever you want to be from. Sal, happy birthday to you. That's all from your friend Tony Contreras in Vista. Do it all like Art LeBeau here. Give me all your shout-outs here in the 6th round. Ivan Delgado in the black and silver. Ochoa's corner was telling him, you have to be first. You're running out of time.
They're keeping it real with their fighter.
I feel like he's been first the whole night, though. Hasn't
has.
necessarily, you know, leaned in his favor, but he's definitely been first. He's been the aggressor the whole time. He's coming forward.
And you like his effort.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. I mean, as a fighter, you got to respect that, you know?
You're not getting points for effort.
Definitely not. But I respect it.
Ochoa had that tight bun going early in the fight. He hit by a couple lefts, shakes the hair loose. Again,
Ooh, really good left hook.
You like that left hook, huh?
I love that left hook, and he's catching him every time he throws it. He just needs to let it go more and maybe set it up with the right hand.
Right.
Delgado
lead with something.
Lead
or
with
follow
something
up
else.
With something.
Throw a jab, throw a left hook.
Come
He
back
would
with the
land that
cross. You know, if you
100%.
land the lead left hook, come back with the cross.
Yeah. You know, Delgado, the thing where he's not throwing that much, it's a little bit of a sparring partner mentality, right? Where you throw and then you back off and you give the guy a second to catch his breath. step back a little bit, you take your time. Like, this isn't what you do in a fight. You step your game up because you're not sparring. You're here to take this guy out. Your job is
That's
to
his
get rid of him.
experience. That's how he learned,
Right.
was more from sparring
And
than
sometimes-
from those amateur bouts. He had over 70 amateur bouts, but that was all as a kid.
Right.
That was all 8, 9, 10,
Right.
11. You know, it was like kid stuff. But
And also-
it gave him a foundation, but his style is forged in the sparring.
Right, and he has a good style. He has good technical abilities. He really, he catches the punches. He has good high guard.
He thinks in
has
there,
a
too.
He has a good jab when he throws it, but there's something, that hesitation sometimes is something you see in people who are, it's just a bit of a sparring partner mentality.
And also 4 years incarcerated. He had no training, couldn't really get anything to work. So that's
Right.
4 years lost.
True.
I know Bernard will tell you it's good, healthy living. But regardless, though, you're losing those years. Bernard will tell you. He loves talking to Dougie. Bernard Hopkins, legend.
I love talking to Bernard.
We love him and Malik.
Uncle B. Uncle B is my favorite.
Last of the great fighters.
Another good round for Delgado. Estrellita is working the mitts. Shabransky is loosening up. Vyacheslav Slava Shabransky, Ukraine. Now living in Los Angeles, getting ready. Edgar Jasso, second trainer, getting him loose. That's our main event coming up. Shabransky, undefeated fighter, 16-0, 13 KOs on his record. Light heavyweight. There was some talk of maybe Andre Ward for him, but actually took a fighter named Alexander Brand, who trains at the same gym as Shabransky.
Trained by the same trainer.
Trained by the same trainer. So Slava would come in and say the guy that he wanted to fight, nope, here's the guy, Slava. You have to come to the side. Get ready. There's a good packed crowd. Chimpa. Chimpa's dad. Father of Corita Gonzalez, former world champion. 7th round of action. Bethel Duran, Doug Fisher, Holly Lawson underway. In our co-feature, Joe Martinez, your ring announcer tonight. Look at that drive from the Lake Elsinore Storm. Take care of everybody. Got Western Michigan and Dorsey High running this timekeeper tonight. Nobody worried about the Olympics, Doug. I know you love your track on Sundays, but right now, it's nobody's running in that ring. Good old-fashioned scrap.
Yeah, it is. There's footwork, but there's no running.
You run on Sundays, huh? Your periscopes with Coach Schwartz?
I've seen the periscopes.
Yes.
Oh, really good left hook there.
Ivan Delgado runs Mount Baldy. Gets that elevation training, 2,000 feet of elevation in a 3-mile run. You can see the conditioning factor really good for him right now. Oh,
That was a nice jab to the body there.
Jab to the body.
Yeah.
I was about to say, when last time we said that? Anything to the body.
That was the first time for Delgado in this particular fight.
Not that we're picking on him, but this is the same thing that Yuka, his trainer's going to come back and tell him, like, we have to do this, especially when you get past a gatekeeper and
Right.
you want to take that next level.
He has the tools. It's just an issue of him putting them together and making them work for him.
Like, is it more just amount of ring experience that it comes through for him to get those tools?
No, he has the tools. Like, they're there. He has a good jab when he uses it. He has a great left hook. The right hand seems pretty good when he throws it, too. It's just that he's not letting it go. And
Yeah,
that
it's a
thing is a
mental
mental
thing.
thing.
Yeah,
and
it's mental.
The mental thing is sometimes you can
And that tag goes, and down goes Ochoa, and it is over. And
That's
the
it.
stoppage. Dr. Lou Moret jumps in it. He's seen a lot of guys go down in his career. And Ochoa, the pride that he has, the warrior attitude, he gets back to his feet. But Doug, he was out as soon as he was dropped. 142 in the 7th for Ivan Delgado, his 3rd KO of his career.
We had some criticism for Delgado, but all's well that ends well. And I was about to say, it's not just about getting the W against the gatekeeper. You want to make a statement. Well, this is how you do it. He stuns him with the left, follows up with the left and the right, and follows up with another left. Yeah.
Ollie, you were saying it all night. You love that left hook. You saw 2 of them right there in the fight.
Absolutely. Look at that.
Boom. That first left hook took the legs.
And he hit him on the chin with that all
the
night.
follow-up left
Wow.
was right on the button, right to the chin. And
really,
I'm sure,
really good performance there. Really
absolutely.
Nice
Great follow-up, great finish. But I'm sure Dr. Lou Moret saw the follow-up left hook, boom, right there on his way down, and decided, you know what, that's too much to overcome. Boom, that left hook, lead left, discombobulates Ochoa. Ochoa is reeling. Delgado closes the distance and a follow-up shorter hook right on the button.
Yeah, you don't ever want to put anyone's brain at risk.
It was already
especially when they have a big heart and they're just going to keep coming. Like you really got to respect someone stepping in. I love Lou Moret. He's actually my favorite.
Dr. Lou jumped in there and stopped it immediately, and he's in there. He saw probably the eyes of Ochoa go back.
Right.
Ivan Delgado, his third KO. After Roberto Diaz, the matchmaker, said he expected tonight because he wanted to see this kid let his hands go, and now, Holly, you were mentioning it, let his hands go, and here's what happens.
Well, we talked about it being a mental thing, letting the hands go, and I think maybe scarring a knockout like that is encouragement.
Yeah, 100%. I think sometimes you need to know that when you do let your hands go, you're going to have the effect that you want to have.
You're going to get results.
And seeing the results, can encourage that.
Delgado comes over, shakes the hand of Clemente Medina. These two fighters know each other because of that Southern California boxing scene, Doug. They go to different gyms, they go to spar, they see people all over the time, so a lot of respect and mutual admiration for them. This wasn't any kind of a trash-talking matchup. It was like, no, we know we got to get past a guy like Ochoa, who's seen better days.
These guys are very mature for being 26 and 27 years old for different reasons.
Striker Delgado, father of 3. Aiden tattooed on his right hand. Aiden.
Definitely proud of him tonight.
Yes, he is. Destiny and Aaliyah, all his daughters, right there.
And I see Delgado is wearing a medallion from the WBC, and I don't know what this means, if that means this win got him a ranking in the WBC. WBC rankings, they have rankings all the way to like number 30.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, definitely he's not top 10, top 15.
My eyebrow raised.
He's on his way. Yeah, I saw you raise your eyebrow, but yeah, the WBC will rank the top 30 fighters in a particular division, unlike the other sanctioning organizations, which go to 10 or 15.
Right.
So maybe he's in that top 30, and
that'd be a nice
if
look
so,
for him.
congratulations. If not, hey, that's a cool looking medallion.
Ain't nothing wrong with wearing medallions, especially if it's gold, baby.
Yeah, look at it. Yeah.
Looks good. Take that, and they put it on immediately.
Yeah.
When we catch up with it, we'll see what that means. Ivan Delgado now 10-0 with 3 KOs, a 7th round stoppage for the fighter born in South Central Los Angeles. Here's Joe.
Menos 1 minuto 42 segundos el séptimo asalto de referee para la pelea para el ganador por nocaut se mantiene invicto. The end comes officially 1 minute 42 seconds. Round number 7. We have your winner by KO victory. He is still undefeated. Ivan Striker Delgado.
26-year-old Ivan Delgado, 10-0. You see with his trainer Yuka. An interview by Spanish TV. We'll be back with more from the Belasco Theater. You're watching Ring TV Live.
Los cinturones aquí se hacen a un lado. Hay que pelear por honor y por gloria nada más.
Liam's a talent, he'll fight anyone. And we're going to make a big fight for him in the autumn. I think it's the biggest name in that division, and I will make sure it happens. And I believe by the end of the year, he will be the best.
Dallas, Texas, Cowboy Stadium, Canelo, Smith, Mexico, England. That's the main event. More than half of the tickets have already been sold. Go to Golden Boy Promotions, buy your tickets. I know the flights are cheap right now, Will. We can get on there. We can get on those cheap tickets right now. It's a one-way. The Rams play the next day. We can get that first 6 a.m. flight coming back home. Will Wright, our director and vice president for Golden Boy Promotions, Bethel Durant, Doug Fisher, Holly Lawson, and we have a great staff working in the dungeon in the Belasco Theater, putting it together. Appreciate you guys with the graphics and the Chiron and the audio. Everybody doing a good job tonight, as always. Executive Vice President David Tetreault, Scott Tetreault here. Ted, the ring announcer, Ted, the stage manager tonight. Emilio Sanchez, undefeated fighter from San Fernando, is in attendance. Dr. Lou Moret also working the ring tonight as we're waiting for Ivan Delgado to make his way over with that Canelo card.
Yeah,
Jojo Diaz. Diego De La Hoya.
Hey, the
Gabe
month of
Rosado.
September, that's a
Get it
terrific month for boxing, and people shouldn't sleep on Liam Smith. But never mind Smith right now. We got the striker Delgado with us.
Breathe, baby, breathe.
Yeah, congratulations, Ivan.
I know you're up there taking a lot of pictures, shaking hands and everything, but first thing though, what's this medallion? What is this? What did they give?
This was given to my trainer, rest in peace, who passed away last year.
I see.
And ever since I carry it, I carry it with me wherever I go in each corner, in each fight. I walk out with it. It's like he's still with me in the corner.
That was
with you in spirit. It's good luck.
Yeah.
So Yuka, who passed away a year ago, that was given to him, and you wear that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. We were trying to figure out what exactly that was.
Yeah.
Show it to the crowd again, right there, the camera. Hey.
The little one.
That's in memory of Yuka, one of the legendary trainers in Southern California.
Yeah.
But now you tonight, though. It's your second KO. Dude, where'd that power come in from last round?
That's something that I thought I've always had, a power, I got power, and it was just a matter of sitting down more on our punches, and being more accurate and not throwing just to throw, And I knocked out with the left hook before too, and like I said, I know I got power in both hands. It was just a matter of sitting down on our punches and not just throwing wild or without being on our legs.
You were throwing that left hook with efficiency whenever you wanted it. Yeah. How come we haven't seen that in other fights?
Well, the reason was in other fights I was more try to be move around more, a little counter puncher, more defensive, and basically that's what it was, But now it's time to step it up and be more accurate, and basically whenever we hit, we make sure to hurt them.
The accuracy was there, the power was there. You were really the ring general, even though Ochoa really brought it tonight. A lot of activity. The one criticism that we have, and you'll see it when you watch this fight again, we thought you needed a jab, and we thought that you needed to move your hands a little bit more. At what point in the fight did it kind of click to put those shots together? Because as soon as you did, you didn't just hurt him, you put him away, as we're going to see some highlights here.
Yeah, what do you see right here, Ivan?
Right there, I was make sure I was going to the body, and they told me to go downstairs, And since I went downstairs, coming back upstairs, I knew I was landing the hook, and they were telling me to throw the upper also, But I see him throw himself at me, and I was just trying to stay a little calm and kind of get him with the hook, because I knew he sometimes expected that upper, and I didn't feel comfortable throwing that upper when he came in, so that's the reason I threw the hook.
He's a pressure fighter. You know him very well. I mean, a lot of people know Ochoa. Here's how the fight finished. That's got to feel good.
Yeah, that does feel good, coming back with a knockout, and like I said, I know I've always had the power. It's just a matter of putting our punches together, and the reason I wasn't throwing that jab as much is because I felt he was going to come into me, I didn't want to come into him too much, so I was waiting a little bit more calm for him to throw himself at me and just get him with a good shot.
10-0, Ivan Striker Delgado gets his third KO. There's that camera. Send that shout out to your kids, man.
I just want to send a shout out to all my kids, my two daughters, and my son, I do everything for them, and especially my family and everybody in South Central, everybody.
Hasta en español, échale si quieres.
Saludos a todos mi gente, mi familia. Ahí también está en Los Ángeles, el sur centro de México, and also shout out to all my sponsors, El Centenario, Witters Collision, Tacos on Heaven, and Boxing Lifestyle, and of course my team, MT Sports and Golden War for the opportunity, and it feels good, being a co-main event and finishing the fight like this.
Roberto Diaz said if you came out impressive, there could be another fight for you later on this year. Ivan Striker Delgado, our co-feature. So that's 4 fights, 4 knockouts. Our main event coming up, Slava Shabransky against Oscar Riojas, and Shabransky sat down with our Golden Boy cameras.
I did good training camp. We already did sparring, we're ready for this fight. So it's my second time main event, but I'm still very excited. So we both has 16 fights, so similar experience. He's southpaw. I will try more use like my right power. Every time I'm ready for full distance. You can never forget about the jab.
Vyacheslav Slava is the short name. Shabransky from Ukraine is our main event. And Oscar De La Hoya gave him the nickname. He already had a nickname, Lionheart, because that's the tattoo that he has. Lionheart, of course, sounds cool, but Oscar De La Hoya saw him spar one day, knocking people down. He said, you know, he's Chingonski. And I won't translate that word for you, but you know it. And there's El Mero Mero, El Jefe, Oscar De La Hoya, the Hall of Famer, founder of Golden Boy Promotions. Look at Quigley, look at Rob, everybody's in the background right there. Still got it, Oscar De La Hoya. He's the reason we are here tonight at the Belasco Theater. Bethel Duran, Doug Fisher, Holly Lawson. We're back on camera right now. We got to get a little freshed up. Doug, how you feeling? You good? You look good?
Yeah.
Look good, play good. You know, there we go.
Fix the tie.
We are at the Belasco Theater, a sold-out edition of LA Fight Club, the first Friday of every single month. We'll be back November 2nd. Make sure you get tickets, and it sells out, and it's hot in here, so don't wear a jacket. We're the only ones with jackets in here. Right, Holly? It's a little steamy.
It's a little hot in here.
Yeah,
it's definitely a little warm.
It's not
There's a lot of
Canada
people
cool,
packed
right?
up in here.
No,
Yeah.
it's not Canadian cool, right?
No. We should go to Canada, I'm telling you. Let's
Oh.
go.
Well,
Road
we
trip.
got David Lemieux.
Yeah, that's
Let's
a Golden
go.
Boy fighter. I mean, it's not British Columbia, but Montreal is
it's not.
pretty. It's nice.
Montreal treated Doug and I very well when we went to see David Lemieux and Hassan
Do I want to
Mda.
hear this story?
Yeah, poutine.
Okay.
Hey, poutine every single day.
You said poutine.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
so cute. It's poutine, but that's okay.
Hey man, you take Mexicans to Canada, we're gonna make it our own right there. I was looking for tortillas, but we're all right. Doug, Slava Shabransky is a fighter who, in the light heavyweight division, 16-0, 13 KOs. It's like hard to find opponents for this guy at times.
You know what it is, and you mentioned that he was in the running to fight Andre Ward. That fight didn't happen. I think Team Shabransky said thanks, but no thanks for right now. And I think that was a smart thing to do as we see his last fight against Derek Finley, which took place right here at Belasco Theater just a few months ago. Shabransky is a legitimate lower top 10 contender because he beat Yuneski Gonzalez in a terrific fight.
That was a good fight. That was a
last
big
December.
upset, I actually thought.
It was considered an upset. The reason Yuneski's people took it is because they saw him drop twice by Paul Parker in his previous fight. They think, hey, this is a mark we can take out. No, he's a dangerous out for anybody, but he only has 16 fights, and he stopped 13 opponents in those 16 pro bouts. He only has 64 pro rounds. He needs more rounds like that before he gets in there with the likes of an Andre Ward or some of the other legitimate top 10 contenders like Isaac Chilemba.
Right.
Or later Alvarez.
But you have to wonder, like, how do you do that? If you need rounds, but nobody wants to fight you because you knock everybody out.
You got to find some tough guys. You know, they thought that Derek Finley could take them, like, you know, good 6, 7, 8 rounds, and he broke them down to the body. Yeah.
But he was small.
Right. But Finley takes a lot of guys, a lot of world-class guys, the distance. Shabransky can really punch. Tonight, listen, the guy he's in with doesn't have the size, doesn't have the power, doesn't have the skills to really threaten Shabransky. What Shabransky wants to do is stay active.
Right.
Even if he can't get a lot of rounds, stay active until that opportunity comes, and you want to be ready.
Use the hashtag RingTVLive, just like Fabian D562 is watching on his Roku. We appreciate that. As Joe Martinez looks like he's ready to go, looking dapper. You see Manny Robles, Sr., main trainer. Estrellita Edgar Jasso. We've been using our Twitter poll for tonight. We're interactive. You see Shabransky, Riojas, 50-50. Riojas has a lot of fans in Southern California. He actually went to high school in the Valley. And in the Ukraine, it's early morning right now.
Okay.
We'll see how that will play out at the end of the night. We keep using the hashtag RingTVLive. A lot of fighters in attendance here at the Belasco Theater. They're waiting on the final announcement to get going. And this is a fighter where a lot of talk about him. He's ranked. And, you know, he's actually been to Montreal.
De Los Ángeles, California, damas y caballeros, es la pelea estelar de la noche. 8 asaltos en el peso semi-completo. And here we go, fight fans from Los Angeles, California. This is the main event of the evening. 8 rounds of boxing scheduled in the light heavyweight division. Presentada por Oscar De La Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions y patrocinado por Tecate, Born Ball, Carmelita, Pure Coconut Water, The motion picture Hands of Stone, the true story of Roberto Duran, starring Edgar Ramirez, Robert De Niro, and Usher Raymond, in theaters everywhere tomorrow night. The 3 judges scoring this bout at ringside with a 10-point must system, los tres jueces por ese combate, Raul Caiz Sr., Jerry Cantu, and Zach Young. The encargado del ring, your referee in charge of the action, Raul Caiz Jr. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the judges are ready and the fighters are ready. Ciudad de Los Angeles, dile al mundo, make some noise if you are ready! Presentar primero la esquina azul, con los patrocinios dorado con negro y un peso de 174 libras y 3/4. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing gold, trimmed in black, he weighed in 174 3/4 pounds. Su récord, 10 victorias con 5 derrotas y 3 ganadas por nocaut. His professional record in 15 bouts, 10 victories, 5 defeats with 3 wins coming by way of knockout de Monterrey, México. Presentando el monstruo, Oscar Riojas. Y sobre de la esquina roja, con los patrocinios negro con dorado y un peso de 173 libras y 3/4. His opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wears black. He's trimmed in gold, weighing in officially 173 3/4 pounds. Con un récord perfecto de 16 victorias, 0 derrotas y 13 ganadas por nocaut. He stands perfect in 16 professional bouts, 16 victories, no defeats, 13 big wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Los Angeles, California, by way of Ukraine, here is the undefeated Lionheart, Vyacheslav Chingovsky Shabransky.
Fighter chief second only, please. Fighter chief second. Mouthpiece. Mouthpiece. All right, gentlemen, come closer. You received the instructions in the dressing room. Know what I expect. Good, clean fight. Legal punches, here for you and here for you. Touch gloves, good luck to both of you.
Raul Caiz Jr., the third man in the ring. Here's the tail of the tape.
Shabransky is 3 years younger. He is 4.5 inches taller, and he has a slight reach advantage.
Scheduled for 8 rounds in the light heavyweight division, that being 175. Slava actually came in at 173. Riojas 174. Shabransky actually came to the date of the weigh-ins weighing a pound and a half over. 20 minutes later, he was under. The beauty of boxing. He's in the black trunks. 16-0, 13 KOs. Slava Shabransky, training out of the Rock Gym in Carson, California, where Brother Bless is watching us tonight. He's the man working the desk every single morning. Slava, from Ukraine, moved to the United States to be part of that World Series of Boxing. That's where they found him.
That's probably how he met Manny Robles.
That's exactly how he met Manny Robles. Came to the United States, no English. Ooh. And he stuns Riojas immediately. Riojas, originally from Texas, went to high school at Monroe High School in the San Fernando Valley, now lives and trains in Monterrey, Mexico. He's 32 years old, 10-5 with 3 KOs. Riojas was born in Laredo, Texas. Immediately his family came to California. Slava, father of 2. And you mentioned in one of those fights you were with him, Holly, where you were the main event and he was the undercard.
Yeah.
He actually met his wife at one of his fights in Hollywood. His wife just went there.
They told me that story.
Yeah.
Because she was pregnant at the time and she told me the story. She's lovely. They're a really very nice family.
Yeah. His
Slava's showing really good footwork right now. Like his in and out movement is really good. He's maintaining his range.
I like the feints. I like the head movement as well.
Which is a little bit different for him, honestly.
Yeah,
he's actually been evolving with that lately.
Right.
He had a tendency early on to kind of come straight forward and then get aggressive.
And stand straight up.
Straight up
Yeah.
and a little bit wild just because he knew that he could. Or maybe, you know, all the fights were ending the way he wanted them to in KO, so he didn't really have the chance to kind of adjust.
with that stuff.
He's a work in progress. He hasn't hit his ceiling yet. He's going to continue to progress, which is why it's
But
good
he
for him
looks
to stay
different
busy.
right now, which is
Yeah.
nice. Like, it's nice to see progression from fight to fight.
Right,
Even
we're
if
seeing
you are
it-
winning by KO over a journeyman.
We're seeing it fight to fight because he's working on things training camp to training camp.
Right. And has he been training with Manny the whole time?
Yes, he has.
Yes.
He stayed with Manny Robles, and they do a lot of extensive work. Slava lives in the Valley, makes the commute down to Carson. So if you know anything about Southern California, that's rough.
Man, I commute to Reseda to train, so I know what that's like.
Over an hour in traffic
Yeah.
for Slava Shabransky. He's in the black trunks, fighter from Ukraine. Biggest win for him over Unieski Gonzalez. That was in December on an HBO Latino card, won the majority decision. But he feels frustrated because he thought he'd get some bigger fights after that. Final seconds of the opening round.
Nice right hand to the body there.
Good work from the Ukrainian fighter, Shabransky. He's in the black trunks. That is not Vancouver, British Columbia. That is Southern California. Some pier somewhere. That is the Golden Boy drone flying over the beach areas. If you've been to Fancy Springs, you've seen it on the golf course.
Man, I don't know why you have to be like that.
And there you go. No. We're all about the poutine here.
That's an East Coast thing, actually.
Wait, how do you pronounce it?
Poutine.
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 Well, Doug and I...
we embarrassed ourselves up there. Nobody corrected us. We're like, I'll have one
They were like,
poutine, thank you.
They brought it to
Yeah,
us.
right.
We ordered it right. I had
Yeah.
poutine and clearly Canadian and some Crown Royal.
Well, you know what's funny is that I moved down here and I spoke French fluently.
And there you see Manny Robles, Estrellita, Edgar Jasso, Marco Morales, the stuntman, is the cut man tonight. And they are watching Slava Shabransky in Ukraine. Kajila to Tatiana Victor, his mom and dad. Olga is a sister with 2 kids. One of them named after Slava. Olga and Stefa are the grandmothers. Kajila to them in the Ukraine, and as your son has taught me, robotai, which means work. Every time I see Slava, he said robotai. Yes, I'm going to work, Slava. And that's something that his trainer, Manny Robles, has told him. He wants him to work and be more active as he approaches the night.
He's been pretty active so far this evening.
Slava Shabransky in the black trunks started boxing at the age of 16. He was actually a kickboxer in the Ukraine and realized that the Ukrainian government wasn't going to really sponsor the kickboxing team. There was really no future for it. So he started boxing. And in his first amateur fight, as a boxer, he was getting frustrated and decided out of nowhere that his mind just lost it where he was at, and he went back and kicked his opponent. He went back to the kickboxing roots, was immediately disqualified. I had to remind him, he's like, I didn't do it on purpose, it just instincts came back at me. I didn't really know what I was doing as a boxer. Now here's a professional 13 years later, he's 16-0.
And he's looking like a boxer. He's, and he used to have that awkwardness to his movements that you see a lot of folks who made the transition from kickboxing to boxing. Vitaly Klitschko comes to mind. He had that kickboxing background, and he had a very kind of awkward way of boxing, awkward stance. The way he went about his distance was different from other fighters. Klitschko made it work for him, and I think Shabransky did to an extent, but I like the fact that he's getting more of standard boxing technique.
Almost a little smoother, maybe.
And did I just see Shabransky eat a straight left
Yes,
from
he did.
He ate a
Riojas?
right hand.
All right.
He ate a left from Riojas, and he followed it up with a stiff jab. Right hand from Slava in the black trunks. Minute to go in the second round, scheduled for 8. Our main event at the Belasco Theater in downtown Los Angeles.
Shabransky continues to tap the body with his right hand.
I'd like to see him set it up with a little more jabs. He does better when he's keeping the opponent distant from the jab. Not getting excited and rushing in.
Riojas doesn't have the tightest technique, doesn't have the best physique in there. He's obviously not a natural light heavyweight, more of a super middleweight. But
Maybe a middleweight.
He's generally game. Yeah, you're right. He could probably make 160 if he really works at it. And he's generally durable.
Oh, he's definitely showing some of that durability right now.
This is the heaviest that Riojas has fought at 174. His last fight In April, he actually went 160. This is that gatekeeper journeyman slash Doug. He shot 170, 160, 168 in his career. Final seconds of the second round. Slava Shabransky, Oscar Riojas here at the main event, the Belasco Theater.
So that conversation we had about the difference between a journeyman and a gatekeeper, this is the difference between a journeyman and a gatekeeper, in my opinion.
To me, he's a journeyman.
He's a journeyman. he's here to give him rounds. He's not going to quit, but he's definitely not necessarily in there to win. He's not looking, his posture is different. He's not coming forward to win.
When you step inside, I need you to keep your guard up high. You're working your combinations. I don't need your hands on your chest. I need you to settle down a little bit more. Settle down a little bit more. You touch them once you back them up into the ropes, dig the body, both hands, body, hook. Pick them up, jab, right uppercut, left hook. And then protect yourself. Right? And then combinations, hands up, inside, in the pocket.
That's the corner of Slava Shabransky. Manny Robles, his main trainer. Robles trains Oscar Valdez, the new WBO lightweight champion.
Featherweight.
Featherweight, sorry.
But maybe one day.
Hopefully not anytime soon for him and his management. Now at the Rock Gym in Carson, Doug, you've been down there, you've seen the work that is down there, and Slava is now in that zone where it's hard to find sparring for him that's quality.
Right.
Because guys now are like, yeah, I'll come spar Slava. How much you paying me?
Exactly. They want to get paid.
Riojas cut on the left eyebrow. It was from a punch, according to referee Raul Caiz Jr. In his 19th year, Caiz started right out of high school and graduated Bishop Amat High School in West Covina. Officiated over 85 world championship fights. Is the third man in the ring. And right from Slava. Body work from Riojas. Riojas said he has over 50 people in attendance tonight, most of his family in the 818. Doug, you and I saw Slava fight Paul Parker, June of 2015 in Philadelphia when he was dropped twice in the first round.
Parker was completely unknown. All we knew about him was that he had an unbeaten record. And when we met him the day before the fight at the fighter interviews, we realized how tall he was.
Yes, he was.
And
down goes Riojas. A strong right from Slava Shabransky has dropped the Mexican here in the third round.
Perfect punch. Perfectly timed.
I think he's done.
Yeah.
He's stunned.
The legs aren't there.
His hands aren't up. And a big right, and it is over. Another stoppage for Chingonski. Slava Shabransky. Oscar De La Hoya had that face. Ooh. Yeah, Oscar, you gave him that nickname. It's appropriate. Estrellita knows. Oscar. His expression says it all. And Los Tigres del Norte, La Puerta Negra, the door is closed, is jamming right now. And very appropriate as our main event is another knockout. 5 fights tonight, all KOs. Thank you, Holly. You brought that mojo with you.
I wanted to see some exciting fights. I definitely got that tonight.
Jab and a nice short right hand.
There you go. Set up with the jab.
It was a good stiff jab from the outside.
He has a really nice jab when he employs it.
It's underrated.
He really does.
And then he steps in, and it's a short right that lands right on the button. Sends Riojas down.
Oh, and his eyes just rolled back in his head there.
And
Look
this
at
was
that.
the follow-up. This is after he got up. I don't think he knew where he was.
No, he looked pretty disoriented.
He thought he was in Monterey. And there's I am as I'm fixing my
or somewhere in the 818.
Hey, replay, can we get the first knockdown again when you guys have a chance? Because that was very impressive. There you see baby Nikita. That kid is almost 1 year old.
That's a big boy.
That is baby. Air quotes, baby.
Man.
And there you see him.
Looks strong.
Yeah, there's his wife Dina right there. That's Holly, as you know her. They actually met after one of Slava's fights in Hollywood. She had no idea where she was going that night. She just went with her friends, and they introduced her to this Ukrainian. Slava, father of 2, has a daughter who does gymnastics. He gets the win. There she is.
There we go.
So she was in her mother's stomach the last time I saw her mother. That was.
Look at that.
Just look how cute they are.
That's a great picture.
He has the tattoo on his stomach is him and his 2 cubs. That's the tattoo that represents his 2 kids. And there you see his grandmother actually watches the fights on delay. She waits to find out the result from her daughter, and then she watches it.
I can
That's smart,
understand
though.
that, yeah.
I can understand
Go
that.
back to that story about Paul Parker. After Slava got dropped, the replay that she was watching, the feed, gave out.
Oh my goodness.
So the grandmother calls the mom and says, "You told me Slava won. He's on the ground. What are you doing right now? Why are you lying to me?" She's like, "No, no, no."
Cruel joke.
Watch the rest of the fight.
Click
It's okay.
refresh. Here we go. So there he is. Slava
Shabransky was down twice in that fight, and he showed real composure, kept his head, and then knew when to step on the gas to get that revenge and get the stoppage.
They actually brought Paul Parker into Carson to spar with Slava for a week to get him ready for Yunieski Gonzalez.
That's smart.
Parker obviously gave him good work.
Yeah, we're going to get you that replay again as they're wiping him down like it's a thoroughbred. And let's look at a recap of the entire fight. Lionheart, Chingonski, Shabransky.
Bam, there it was. Working a long-range jab, steps in just as his opponent steps in and nails him with that right. So he kind of met him halfway with the right cross.
Oscar looking pretty happy there.
And a lot of power in such a short power shot.
43 segundos del tercer asalto, referee para la pelea para el ganador por knockout. The end comes 1 minute 43 seconds, round number 3. Your winner by KO and still undefeated, Lionheart, Vyacheslav Chingonski Shabransky.
I mean, we knew that he was dangerous. We knew he had some power, Doug, but this is a fighter who now you see why they're making some round for him in that 175-pound division.
He's also got the kind of style and punching power to where you want to watch him even if you know he's going to win, even if it's a mismatch on paper, because he's going to get the guy out of there. He's not going to mess around. And if Golden Boy keeps him busy, I think the fan base grows, whether it's here locally, people who can come to the Belasco and watch him, or if they put him on an undercard at StubHub or something like that, or folks who are watching these streams or watching him on television.
Right.
He's got the kind of style that fight fans want to see, and it doesn't matter if you're of Ukrainian descent or Mexican descent or American or whatever.
And he seems to be a good mixing of the Ukrainian Mexican, clearly, right?
Yeah.
He's got both those styles going on. The Mexican? That was the French.
Oh, oui.
But he's a technical boxer too, so that's the thing.
Yeah.
Is like he's not just a sloppy big coming out there just to knock him out with one punch. And I think that seeing his boxing evolve is also really cool.
Well, you mentioned he was on one of the undercards when you were the main event. You've seen him from raw dude, me, boxer, man, now to a man who's married with 2 kids.
You know, I was impressed with his growth. Like the jab, his movement was much better. Dougie was saying that. Like his movement was so much better, so much smoother. And he just seemed to like a little more patient and kind of taking his time. I know that I've watched him fight too. So I watched the fight with Paul. What was it, Parker?
Paul Parker.
And sometimes he would get excited and then he'd come in and he knows he's going in for the kill, but he kind of throws caution to the wind at that point in time, and he would have this tendency to get a little bit wild, and he didn't really do that here. He waited and he timed it, threw a jab and that short right hand, and that's cool. I think that's big evolution for him. And I think for me as a boxing fan, as a boxer and a boxing fan, it's always cool for me to see fighters evolve, especially when they're fighting in fights and they're getting knocked out. So, you know, sometimes with those fights, you can just knock people out and you just stay at that same level and you don't evolve. You just keep the same thing because it's working for you.
That's a good point.
I wish I could say this person's name, but you got to clean up your Twitter so I can say it on here. But you said Chingonski, #wow. That was exactly what that punch
100%.
was. Wow.
Yeah.
And let's look at highlights of this fight as Slava's going to make his way over to the Ring TV Live set. Riojas is a fighter who said he didn't know much about his opponent. He's like, I just know that he hits hard. He found out.
That's a lot of power on a very short shot.
As Manny Robles is going to be coming over too. Slava Shabransky coming over. The trainer's going to be joining him. soon. And Slava, come on and sit down right here. We're gonna get you. First, me and you, brat. Yep, we're gonna sit down right here. Slava Shabransky, as the camera's right there, Slava. We're gonna fix this microphone. You look at me, Brat, right? That's what you taught me in.
Brat, yeah.
What does brat mean?
Brother.
My brother, what's bratan?
Bratan, same brother.
Oh, same brother. How did you feel with that knockout?
You know, I'm not go to the ring and thinking about KO. You know, it's like many always told me, my trainer, first round we're supposed to come and see what guys doing, and after second round I come to the corner and he's let me know what I need to do about second round, and I listen I listen my corner, and I did. I think it's not bad.
How do you feel tonight? You feel good?
Yeah, I feel good.
Yeah. There's the camera right there. Your family's watching in the Ukraine. Say hello. Say hola to them.
Hola. Украина, всем привет. Спасибо всем большое за поддержку. Мама, папа, я знаю, что вы сейчас в поездке. Все равно будете просматривать мой бой. Большой привет моей сестричке Оле. Всех люблю, обожаю. До скорой встречи.
And let me translate for that right there. Se siente bien. He feels good. Brat, you feel good? Kajila.
Хорошо.
And robotai.
Работает.
Robote, he taught me. The robote is the word work. You came to work. Manny, your fighter came tonight. I talked to you beforehand. You said you wanted to get some rounds. You wanted to see him because he hasn't fought in a bit. He did the robotai. He did the work, but that knockout was impressive.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. It was very nice. Very beautiful straight right hand right down the pipe. Yeah, and he got a little bit of work, which is good. You know, the opponent was a little bit awkward.
It was a southpaw.
Yes, and as we always do, you know, just take your time, settle down, relax, break them down, and that's exactly what he did and got the knockout.
And let's look at some of the replays right here. Manny, I know you always wanted to be my partner on TV. Let's check them out right now. What do you guys see? Well, that's a nice tattoo. There's your two kids on your stomach right there, Slava. But here's that
beautiful
knockout. We're going to check it out again. We have plenty of replays. The crack staff doing a good job getting it for you guys. But boom, that right hand, stiff right hand. That's something you guys really work on at the gym.
Absolutely. You know, just fundamentals. You know, you set them up behind the jab and let that throw a straight right hand right down the pipe. Keep it nice and disciplined in a straight. Keeping your punches in a straight line, and that's what did it.
Slava, you're not one to say, I want to fight so-and-so. You're not going to call people out. But at the same time, you feel like you're one of the best persons in the 175 division. Do you feel like you're ready for the next level?
You know, I feel I'm ready. So I will be happy if I have fighters, good fighters like.
You like fighting in Belasco, but you want Vegas. You want the big scene.
You know, for me, it doesn't matter in a gym, in Belasco, Las Vegas. I like, it's boxing. You go to the ring, it's same ring, everybody is same. And it's, for 100%, it's supposed to be, if my coach Manny around me, I don't scare nobody.
You had a lot of work with Bernard Hopkins over the years. You sparred with him. He loves you.
Yeah.
And you feel good about yourself.
Yeah, Bernard Hopkins gave me a lot of things. I so surprised when I saw him. I know I read in Ukraine, when I was in Ukraine, I read about Bernard Hopkins. I know it's legenda. And when I saw him first time, I can't believe I around Bernard Hopkins. And second day, when I come to the gym and I meet Bernard and he shook my hand and say, "Hey, are you ready for sparring?" It was some.
Well, obviously it's paid off, Manny. You've known this man since before he was married, had the kids. He didn't even speak English.
Yes,
didn't even speak Spanish yet. Now
Correct.
you've seen the evolution of him. How proud are you of him?
Very proud. He's transformed. He's transformed into a totally different fighter from when he first came from the Ukraine, at the European style, and you know, come forward, aggressive, and I think you know, he's coming along very well. I think we still have a long way to go. You know, it's very important to stay grounded in the game and keep our feet on the ground and know that with every day, you know, there's always something to learn.
It's a team effort at the Rock Gym in Carson, California. That's where Manny Robles' home base. He, along with Estrellita, Edgar Jasso, Marcos, the cut man, Slava Shabransky. One more time, Slava, say adios.
Adios, guys.
Paca. And we'll be back with more on Ring TV Live. All right, we got to take our... Oh, no. They're breaking down the ring. There you see my kid right there, tape stuck on his foot. The intern is just slacking right there.
Man,
Great
he's
staff
been working
putting it
hard
together.
all.
I mean, nothing rides for free here. Oh, you're right in front of me, kid? No, we're on the air still right now. Go to work. Get to work. And Ring TV Live is brought to you by the Golden Boy Boxing on Ring TV Live is brought to you by the new app. Download it right now. The Ring TV app for a chance to win 2 tickets to Canelo Smith and a signed glove from Oscar De La Hoya. Download from the App Store today. I got it. It's really cool. Another good night of a boxing. First, we got to thank the people behind the scenes. Panda Valdivia. Dan is your real name, but nobody knows that, but you're Panda. Great job directing it, especially being able to catch all those knockouts we had tonight. Luis Gonzalez, Andy Milikoff, Sean Hendricks, Ted Spears, the backbone of the Ring TV Live production, and the rest of the crew, everybody down there who reports at 8 o'clock here to the Belasco Theater, doing a great job as always bringing you this excellent broadcast. We do the easy work. We talk. Beto Duran, Doug Fisher, Holly Lawson here for you. Mexico, what was it? Cincinnati? Is that where you grew up? Where'd you grow up, Doug?
Columbus.
Columbus, Ohio.
Southern Missouri.
Southern Missouri.
Vancouver, BC. I was born at Kaiser in Harbor City. But Holly, first time here at the Belasco, you see 5 knockouts. How
Amazing. Like, what are the odds that that's going to happen? I think I'm good luck.
There it is.
I think that's what that is.
There it is. Now, because of your luck, we have to fill. So we're going to, it's called
your luck
stretch.
brings more work from us. It's easier just to call the fights, isn't it? You got to fill
it is,
time, but we did it, though.
And then you see
I had a great time with you guys.
The media behind us filing for a deadline. Doug, your mailbag, Fridays and Mondays, Dougie's mailbag, where can they reach you?
Dougie at boxingmailbag.com. And there's lots to talk about, especially the month of September. Just a huge month, a lot of terrific fights. Canelo Smith, probably the biggest event, but there's some great hardcore matchups there. Triple G versus Kell Brook.
I'm
and
looking
of course,
forward to that one.
my favorite, Chocolatito Gonzalez, stepping
Love
up
him.
in weight yet again against Carlos Cuadras. That's going to be September 10 at the Forum in Inglewood, my hometown now.
The Forum's
Inglewood,
great,
California.
too. Seeing fights at the Forum is just so
very
so
special.
Good.
And Doug
It's really
Fisher will
good.
be there. Check out his mailbag. I just want to see the emails that you don't publish. So we'll be back with more from the Belasco Theater on Ring TV Live.
Los cinturones aquí se hacen a un lado. Hay que pelear por honor y por gloria nada más.
Liam's a talent, he'll fight anyone. And we're going to make a big fight for him in the autumn. I think it's the biggest name in that division, and I will make sure it happens. And I believe by the end of the year, he will be the best.
Dallas, Texas, Jerry's house, Cowboy Stadium. Canelo Smith, Oscar De La Hoya, and Jojo Diaz are actually out in the 805 as the Cowboys are having training camp. Went out there to meet the team and take pictures and wear that Cowboy jersey. And that's where September 17th is going to be. Make sure you get your tickets at goldenboypromotions.com. More than half of them have already been sold. And that's great news. There's a link on the website. Go and check it out. Jojo Diaz on the card. Diego De La Hoya, Gabe Rosado, Willie Monroe Jr. That's an interesting co-feature. They're definitely going to get some people fired up for that one. Beto Duran, Doug Fisher, and Holly Lawson. We had 5 KOs tonight. 5 fights, 5 KOs, and it all got going with Junebug. David Mijares, 20-year-old from Santa Monica, got the night rolling.
For their first bout this evening, 4 rounds of boxing, this in the super lightweight division. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner. Wearing black trunks, he weighed in officially 136 1/4 pounds. In his second professional bout tonight, he looks for victory number 1 from Hobbs, New Mexico. Here is Jorel the Mental Spanberg. And across the ring stands his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. Wearing silver, trimmed in black, he weighed in officially 139 pounds. In 2 professional bouts, he stands perfect with 2 victories, no defeats, 1 win by way of knockout. From Santa Monica, California, here is the undefeated David Junebug Mijares. And your referee in charge of the action, Dr. Lou Moret.
Come on, come on. Okay, gentlemen, again, your instruction dressing room. Let's have a good, clean fight. Listen to my command. Touch gloves, return to your corner, and wait the bell. Good luck.
Dr. Lou Moret in the ring. He has a PhD, college professor, one part of the Democratic National Convention, was running the Hispanic caucus for them in the 80s. He's in the ring tonight. And here's the tail of the tape for Mijares and Sparrenburg.
Mijares is 4 years younger at age 20, but Sparrenburg has the height and reach advantage. At 5'10", he's 3.5 inches taller.
Bethel Duran, Doug Fisher, and Holly Lawson getting ready to go. Our opening bout from the Belasco Theater. The LA Fight Club is underway. David Junebug Mijares, the southpaw with the white gloves, is taking on 24-year-old Jarrell Sparrenburg in the black trunks from Hobbs, New Mexico. Junebug, a good amateur out of Southern California, went to Santa Monica High School. Father known around the Southern California boxing scene in the training world. For comparison, Jarrell Sparrenburg in New Mexico was more of an MMA fighter. Has a couple MMA pro fights. This is his 2nd fight ever. And when I say ever, as in he had no amateur fights at all.
Kind of shows in his body language, the way he lets his hands go. He has to think about everything he does. And he's kind of awkward, which I think you would expect from somebody who has a background, whose foundation in combat sports
is coming from MMA.
Right,
absolutely.
is MMA and not boxing.
He definitely is keeping his hands really high there. Not wanting to exchange that much. Mijares is showing really nice kind of, I don't know, he's showing nice movement. He's being very patient, which is cool, not coming forward too quickly.
Has a big crowd, lands a big left. Mijares has over 80 people in attendance tonight wearing a shirt that says Junebug. Junebug, a Southern reference to Junior. He's David Charles Mijares.
Nice
hook.
There you
go. There you go.
Mijares was a very active and mobile boxer in the amateurs. As a professional fighter,
Be smart. Let's go.
he's trying
There you
to
go. There you go.
settle down on his feet a little bit more and take the fight more to his opponents than he did in the amateurs.
He's definitely a little bit high up on his toes, but it looks like he's sitting down when he wants to actually throw a punch, which is what it's all about, right?
Mijares looking good in the opening round. To the light of Julian Cameron Ramirez, who's watching on Ring TV Live. El Cameron works out with Mijares. Sheer Sports stablemate. Pressure from Junebug.
Sheer Sports has a nice little team there, actually.
Working
Ooh,
the
good body shot.
Mijares trained by his father, David Sr. Oh, stiff left from Mijares, the 20-year-old southpaw. Just having his way with Sparrenburg here in the opening round. It's scheduled for 4.
Right there.
He's still an active fighter. He's just not moving around the ring as much as he did as an amateur. He's not letting his hands go for 3 minutes of a round. But he's still moving a lot. He's got good footwork and trying to close the distance. And when his hands aren't moving, his head and upper body are moving.
Absolutely.
And I like that a
He cuts
lot.
good angles. He definitely keeps his head off the line. For a southpaw, he has good movement to the left as well, which is interesting. It isn't always the case. You know, southpaws usually move a little more smoothly to the right, so it's nice to see when somebody has the lateral movement to the left as well. But again, that would be that good footwork coming from the amateurs.
First round in the books. David Mijares sat down with our Ring TV Live cameras.
Game plan is to stay busy, 3 or 4 fights every year. That's the least. You know, we're just trying to get as much work in as we can, stay sharp, and never get dull. Yeah, at the gym now we're working on sitting down on our shots. We're still keeping our movement, just sitting down on the shots and really just working it and working towards getting the guy out of the ring. I'm looking again to put on a beautiful, wonderful show for the fans. I know my opponent's going to be looking for his first win, so I know he's going to be ready, but I'll be right there with him. Be ready for me. I'm expecting a huge fan base to come out. Wonderful night, and just ready to have fun.
20-year-old David Mijares from Santa Monica with the Santa Monica High School. Mijares, good-looking kid, who's been in ads for Adidas, H&M, who's been in an AT&T documentary, so he has that show both way. He has a Hollywood lifestyle behind him, but he said he's all about boxing. He really started taking it serious when he graduated high school, and he just turned it up a different notch. Around the age of 13 as an amateur, started going to some of the bigger tournaments. He was about it. Uppercut landed by Mijares. He's got the white gloves. Sparrenburg from Hobbs, New Mexico. That's a small town in southeast New Mexico. He's bleeding from the left eye. Hobbs High Eagles, that's where he was a wrestler. Has a Greco-Roman background also.
Keep going.
He said he likes boxing because the checks are bigger. But you know what? I think the punches are also heavier. Body work from Mijares.
Harris is doing better when he is a little more patient, stays on the outside. He doesn't get so excited and kind of fall in. He's getting tagged a couple of times by Sparrenburg, just when he's so close.
It's kind of battling his own enthusiasm.
Yeah, you can tell he's holding himself back, and he's actually doing a really good job of that. You know he wants to be here and just showing out in front of everyone.
Oh, good left from Mijares.
Good left.
Body work from Mijares. New Mexico fighter just holding on right now. Mijares actually spars at the Wild Card Gym. Doesn't get to him work. And he's just tagging off on the New Mexico fighter right now. Dr. Lou Moret is looking at it, and he's jumped in. It is over. A second-round stoppage for David Junebug Mijares. He said it was the homecoming. Wanted to put on a show for his hometown fans. And the fighter from Santa Monica stops it here in the second round. He's now 3-0.
Mijares getting under some of those punches from Hobbs. Lands a nice 1-2 combinations. It's the straight lefts that really did the majority of damage, Holly.
Definitely. He cut the angle coming into the corner as well, so he could, you know, come from a different side, which was showing a little bit of that, I don't know, professional patience again.
And he does a good job of that. And he's backing Hobbs into the neutral corner. Not loading up too much with these punches. He's still dealing in volume as opposed to the
you know,
maximum
he's pretty
leverage.
relaxed.
Right.
He really is pretty relaxed there. Definitely moved his head enough, a lot. Stayed out of the way of most of those punches.
That's what I like. The last time he fought, he scored a third-round stoppage, but he fought with a bloody nose throughout that contest because he got clipped a few times in the opening round.
Well, it looks like he probably learned from that fight and out here and did what he needed to do.
And there you see his father in his corner. David Mijares and his father, also named David. David Charles is the fighter. David Paul is the father.
That is correct.
Father-son combinations in boxing. They're always either really, really good or pretty tenuous.
And Joe Martinez is ready, our ring announcer for tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, the end comes at the official time, 1 minute, 36 seconds. Round number 2, Dr. Lou Moret puts a halt to this bout. We have your winner by KO victory. He is still undefeated, David Junebug Mijares.
David Mijares, 20-year-old Santa Monica High Viking. Was more of a music. He was in the band in high school. Had a great background behind it. His dad was a celebrity trainer. And he knows a lot of people in Southern California. He brought over 80 people with him, looking up at the crowd. And there you see him. The Junebug fans got their money's worth as they see their fighter with a second-round stoppage. He's now 3-0. Junebug Mijares, the 20-year-old from Santa Monica, improves to 3-0, his second stoppage. That was the opening bout of the night here at ringside. Beth Durant, Doug Fisher, and Holly Lawson. We saw 5 fights, 5 stoppages. And the second fight of the night, a fighter from Chihuahua, Mexico, Oscar Duarte. Whew. This kid came out.
That was a good one.
Quick. He came out, and don't blink, you might miss this one. And it only went half of a round. Second fight of the night at the Belasco Theater, sold out LA Fight Club. Beto Duran, Doug Fisher, Holly Lawson. We're underway. Oscar Duarte, the fighter in the black and white from Parral, Chihuahua, Mexico. His opponent, Omar Garcia, Monterrey, Mexico. So two fighters from the northern part of the state are in the ring tonight. Oscar Duarte, we mentioned it, upset Alejandro Salinas here, September of 2015, almost a year ago. And that was a fight, Doug, you mentioned short notice. I asked him earlier today, like, how short notice was that? He said 28 hours. There was another fighter coming to the Belasco from Chihuahua, and he told them, if they need somebody as a sub, I'm on weight, I can do it. And he is coming out very aggressive right now and drops him. Oh my goodness,
I think it's over.
Oh, man,
has come
that's
in with
it.
some power, and I don't know if Garcia's gonna get up.
I can't believe Caiz is counting.
Caiz, he's holding on to it, and
Yeah.
it is over.
That's a
first
wow.
round KO for Oscar Duarte. Y toda la gente que está mirando en Parral, Chihuahua, José y Elba, su mamá, la tía Rox, hermano Carlos y Jamil, you have seen your relative with a first round KO.
That is surprising. Duarte is usually somebody who takes his time. People compare him to Canelo because of his skin pigment and his hair, and he kind of fights like Canelo, where he's sort of reserved with his offense, is never in a rush. But this fight, maybe it's the influence of Joel Diaz.
It is, Doug. Joel Diaz.
More pressure and letting those hands go.
Holly, this fighter right here, Duarte, has finally moved to Coachella. They were trying to get him over here. He's an engineering student and as a junior. And here you see the knockout, Holly.
Fantastic punches here. Look at this. He's
Lead
letting his
left
hands
hook.
go.
Yeah. Missed it with the hook. He's
Missed it.
loading up. I mean, he's playing for keeps with these shots.
Definitely. That's straight right hand right there.
2 fights, 2 knockouts. After that, Alexis Rocha, the 19-year-old from Santa Ana, got his 4th win, a first-round KO. Ivan Delgado stopped a tough veteran in Alejandro Ochoa in the 7th round. That was the longest fight of the night. He dropped him twice in that round. And that now striker Delgado is 10-0, his 3rd KO. And to top off the evening, Vyacheslav Slava Shabransky, Ukraine, had a 3rd round KO. And let's look at some of the highlights from the night. There you see Lex Rocha out of TKO boxing in Santa Ana.
And he didn't waste any time getting rid of an overmatched and undersized opponent.
Not at all.
He
Very
looked sharp,
efficient,
though.
economical.
He did what a prospect is supposed to do with that level of journeyman.
That left hand was perfect.
Every shot
It was really
perfect
good.
leverage.
He was
and
really
power.
impressive.
Oscar liked it.
Yeah, Rob Gaspari and Jason Quigley liked him. And then our co-feature, Ivan Delgado. Holly, you said you knew about this kid. He came in and got the win.
Yeah, a bunch of my friends are fans of his, actually. So that's how I knew about him.
He's easy to root for, given his background, given the fact that he was by the wayside for a while and has got his act together, his life together. Here he's putting punches together and getting results. He kind of had to convince himself, right, that he could get that knockout, but he got it.
And that was his 10th win, the 3rd stoppage in his career.
Tough opponent.
Yes, he
It was
did.
a good win for him.
Alejandro Ochoa. And there you see Dr. Lou Moret raising the hand. So there you see in our main event, Vyacheslav Shabransky improved to 17-0. Everybody in the Ukraine really excited for him. A 3rd round stoppage at the Belasco Theater, the LA Fight Club, the first Friday of every single month. Great job to everybody behind the scenes. For my partner, Holly Lawson and Doug Fisher, I'm Beto Duran saying thank you and good night for watching Ring TV Live.